Hey, welcome, guys. Why is not showing? Thank you for joining. This should show here. Okay, am I live? Can you check? I hope it's not private. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the $1 billion chat with Adesina. And if you've been joining from day one, I believe that you definitely have been, you've learned quite a lot. I strongly believe that because I've taken my time to be intentional about all the things I've been sharing right from the first day of this session and even till today. And today is not going to be an exception. I shared a link. Check. I shared a link because someone is here. About three people joined, so I think it's private. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. Actually, let me use that. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me before we go too far. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me. But it should be showing. I'm like, okay, I think it's private then. I think it's private. I think it's just private. All right. So you can just share the link. So if you're joining, you can share the link. We have quite an interesting topic to talk about this evening. Let me see how it looks. Okay, this is nice. We have quite an interesting topic to talk about this afternoon, basically, or morning or evening, wherever it is you're joining us from. And it's not going to be about investing actually. Right? It is still about investing, but it's not about investing. It's actually about the economy, right? Like I said, it's going to be about the hidden opportunities about Nigeria's tough economy. The everything about news right now is I hope you guys know that inflation just hit 26% this morning, and that's like the highest I think in since the 90s, 26.7 or something percent. That's crazy. That means whatever it is you're buying right now, they are definitely buying it at over God knows how long because I think in 2015 inflation was around 9, 10, 11%. That means that's like times two of whatever inflation was in the last within this same decade. So that's crazy. Naira to dollar right now it's around 1001, 1110, 1120 or something. That's crazy. And this seems to be the only things that these news outlets are carrying how businesses are folding up, right? I think Keeper app just laid off 40 employees. 40 employees. That's crazy. I someone said if you've noticed, even tech people are no longer shouting get into tech anymore because it's as if as they are getting into tech is pushing them out. This is not to be sarcastic about people losing their jobs. This is me just presenting the reality, right? And this is actually why we're having this conversation. That is this all there is to be about this economy? Is it just all shade of bad things and bad news and everything like that? Right? Because checking the news, it looks as if this is all that there is. But there was a post I made a few days ago, and I made mention that you don't catch. Why do you think that you've not seen Elumelu go on Arise TV and start talking about how bad the economy is? It's not that he's not feeling it, right? It's not that he's not feeling it, but even in this whole economy, the last quarterly report they give, UBA was still profitable. That means there are still opportunities in this tough economy. And this is basically what we'll be talking about this afternoon. This is more like honestly, if you need some ray of hope, this is a session you want to watch and you want to actually share with a lot of people also. For them to get to know that it's not all shade of toughness, not all shade of people losing their jobs, not all shade of inability to afford things and all those things. I can imagine people that landlords will be increasing rent. Imagine you losing your job. Then you're getting back home to see that another has increased rate by 100%. Getting to the market, your wife is telling you the money you budget for buying things can no longer buy half of the things you used to buy in the month. So these are realities, right? These are realities. And this is why we're having this conversation that what are the opportunities for an average person to actually look into in this economy, right? And I think this conversation actually, I got inspired to actually have this topic because it looks as if some people are immune to these things, to these realities. I think this was last year or last 2 years when at those times it looks like those were the worst period of time. Not because we didn't know this kind of thing was going to happen. But one thing I noticed then was new houses were being opened because then I was living in Banana Island. New houses were being opened almost every month. People were still throwing big parties. In fact, a neighbor of mine in those period acquired a 600 million naira vehicle. So I just had a flashback of all these things, and I'm like, why does it look as if some people are immune to these realities? You can say their parents are rich, you can say they were born into privileges, but the people that first created those wealth also had certain bad economy at those period of time too, but they scaled through. Do you want to tell me Dangote has not had a bad year? In fact, I think the first time dollar went up, he lost money in billions that particular day because I think he made the news. So it's not as if these people also do not have these bad realities. But even in the midst of those tough times, in the midst of those tough economic realities, they found the silver lining, they found the opportunities, and they just focused on it to harness it. Right. So I'll be sharing certain things that I believe would help you, right? Would help anyone watching to not just get thrown aback by these sad economic realities, but find, see, one thing you want to do for yourself in this season is block yourself to the media. Focus on what you believe can work. Because if you believe you can or if you believe you can't, you are right. Right. And whatever you focus on, form your thought process, form all you see. If all you listen to is how tough the economy is, how hard the Nigeria is, how everybody is living because this Nigeria cannot be good again, you will never be able to see opportunities. Everything you see would be this how you cannot make it. And if you focus your energy on, oh, there's still some opportunities out there, I can still make some money, I can still do certain things, that is all you would see. You will still be able to see opportunities even in the challenges. You still be able to see, the good things. You'll still be able to see what you can do, what you can make of all these things. So you need to choose your side. Are you going to choose the side of those that are sulking? Or are you going to choose the side of someone who is going to make do with what's available and make do it well? And make do it well. There's something I used to say very often that tough economies actually bring out the worst economic crisis, that's the 2008 global housing crash, still brought out wealthy guys. Still brought out wealthy guys. So even in this today's economy, there's still some opportunities in it for you. And first thing I want to say this afternoon or morning, whatever it is you're watching, is that you want to ask yourself, regardless of how the economy is, what I offer, would people still want to pay for it? So it is not first about what the government is going to do. It is not first about what any other person is going to do. It's first about, am I well positioned for opportunities? Am I well positioned? What you see, I think, to put it simply, what you need to overcome to not be worried about high increase in prices or naira devaluation is cash flow. Is cash flow. Why are people scared of losing their jobs? Because cash flow stops. Why can't people be able to afford what they used to afford? Because their cash flow cannot meet up to be able to be sufficient for that. So what you need to focus on is, how do I sustain my cash flow, or how do I increase my cash flow? And where does that question drive you? Are people willing to pay me or continue to pay me? Hope you know that this is not to talk down on anybody who has lost their jobs. But I want to tell you, regardless of how you are going to take it, is that there are still people that, regardless of how economy gets, they cannot lay them off. They can't. They are too valuable to be laid off. Even if the company can only afford to pay one salary, to be them. So you are currently employed. The question is, am I one of such persons? I think this last week a lot of schools in Nigeria did convocation, and everybody's hoping to get a job. The question is, are you one of those that even if the company is only going to employ one person, it will be you? Are you easily replaceable? Can people easily find the alternative? So the question is not first there's no job in Nigeria. The question is, am I that valuable such that even if there's only one job opening in Nigeria, it will be me? So the first question is, how much are you investing in yourself? I was listening to something this morning, and Les Brown was saying that do what be willing to do what most people would not do so that you can get what most people would not get. There's something I used to brag about and call it pride. I don't really care. I've never gone for a job interview and I wasn't picked. If I do not pick it, I declined. It has never happened once. In fact, if I know I don't have a chance, I won't apply. And trust me, I've applied for jobs a lot. In fact, when I first left school, my mom was on my neck, get a job. I was working from home, I was making money, so I was not even pressured. But she wanted me to get a, a good job in quotes. And I was going for interviews. So this is not about me. This is about you. That you can, it is not pride. It is just that you know the quality of what you've invested in yourself, that you know that whatever company I get into, they need me. They need me. And this is why I get surprised when people just, I don't buy the idea of just dumping resumes everywhere. Because even though you are desperate for a job, you should have taste. You should know the opportunities that fit into the vision you're trying to build. You should have a goal. You should know what you want. Right. So you are not just trying to get a job. You know the kind of sure. I'm not sure the second. Check either of these wardrobe. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm trying to get the second. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. Let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me now? Can you confirm if you can hear me now? Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So as I was saying, right, someone gave an illustration recently, and I'm going to give it as an example. She said she's trying to relocate out of the country. Because she believes she's cut out for international jobs and all those things. And I told her that these jobs you are seeing, they are international because you're in Nigeria. And they are only, you think they are better than Nigerian jobs because of the exchange rates. If you get to those countries, because she was trying to relocate, if you get to those countries, you realize that the international job is now local jobs. And by the time they start taxing it beyond what they are taxing, and you start spending the money in its own economy, in that currency's economy, you realize it's the same thing as any naira in Nigeria. Because that's the mistake a lot of people make. Am I discouraging you from relocating? If it fits into what you want, of course, why not? I'm also planning to go outside the country for a while because of the certain things I want to do. So I'm not discouraging, or I'm not talking down on leaving the country. I'm just saying don't leave it because you think, oh, it's greener pastures, without having any tangible thing is contributing to what you are doing, right? Regardless of how, and this, what I'm trying to say now, it applies to whether you are in the US, you are in the UK, you are in any country in the world, and you are facing certain tough economic realities also. The question is, what do I need to offer that regardless of how tough the economy is, people still want to pay me? It should shock you that December would come and all these luxury goods will release their annual report and you still see that they are still in crazy profit because tough economy does not mean anybody, everybody is not spending anymore. In fact, during COVID, luxury goods made crazy profit. Why? Many people are at home, they are bored. So what are they doing to call their boredom? They are shopping. The question is, those people that have the money to be shopping items they don't need, you are not valuable so to a level so that they can that same money they are spending on luxury items they can pay you. So the question is, who have the money? How can I be so valuable that you don't make money, you collect money. If you look at it from that perspective. So what do I need to offer that I can collect money from all these people and they will give it to me willingly? How valuable do I need to become? How valuable do I need to become? That's the first step. Stop bothering about things are getting expensive. Stop bothering about naira is depreciating or whatever currency you are spending is depreciating. The question is, and it first starts from how much do I want to be earning? And then how do I become so valuable that people can pay me this money willingly? Or they're even desperate to pay me the money. When you have a surgery, people don't beg hospitals to reduce the money. They go on GoFundMe to find the money. So if people are saying our economy is tough, please reduce your price, it's because they are not desperate for your solution enough, or your solution is not worthy to be desperate for. So what do you need to do? Work on the value you offer. See yourself as an hospital, such that when you tell people, you have you seen the way doctors tell people? I could have been an example now, but it would be insensitive. Madam, if you don't bring this money in the next 24 hours, sorry, you will lose your child. And the woman is not begging the hospital. She's going everywhere. Please, I don't want to lose my. She's desperate. She is desperate to pay that hospital bill. Become that valuable. That's the first thing. Any other thing anybody is telling you, put money anywhere, put money anywhere. First, dumb that one. You be valuable first. Because in the real sense, if you are trying to invest for short-term profit, see, you will make certain investment mistakes. You will because you'll be investing under pressure. You'll be investing because you are hungry or because you are looking for quick profit. Warren Buffett, why so much believe in Warren Buffett is because of one thing, compound. He gave an illustration that I think from 1962 or something. If he invest in S&P 500, I'm going to explain what that means. If he invest in S&P 500 with just I think $114, and he just keeps reinvesting the dividends till 20 is it 2006 now 2004, right, or 2008, I can't remember, but in the early 2000s. That means he did not take out all those dividends as they pay dividends. He just, right, he didn't sell that particular share. The S&P 500 is actually a list of 500 most valuable companies in the world by market capitalization. Apple, Google, Microsoft, and all those companies. So they put them. So you can invest in them individually, or you invest in S&P ETFs. That is, ETFs means S&P 500 ETFs means that trust fund. They pack in all those companies together. So you can buying that shares of that ETFs means you are buying a share of all those 500 companies at once. So it's more like diversified already. So if you bought it then in 1962, by 2006, $114 would be worth $400,000. That is actually really investing, not the one of I buy land today, I'm selling it in 2 years' time. That one you just quickly did it. It's more like you did a gig. The same thing. Oh, I'm an MC. Oh, do you have a gig from? Let me quickly. That's the same thing many people are doing with investing. You would not hear this truth outside, but this is it. You are welcome. So what I'm trying to say is that the first thing to not be worried is not what do I invest in, is what how valuable I am, so that I can always make money. So that I can always make money. Are you a lawyer? What kind of lawyer are you? You are a doctor. What kind of doctor are you? You are a journalist. What kind of journalist are you? You are a salesperson. What kind of salesperson are you? You are an entrepreneur. What kind of entrepreneur are you? Because entrepreneurs are also getting the hits. It's all this. You see that people have come down with be your own boss. You be your own boss. Your own boss self don't define job. See, the truth would be bitter, but don't rush into all these things. One of the things I tell myself, even as much as I love entrepreneurship, and I think anybody who knows me always know that I've always said this, that I am an aware entrepreneur that this thing comes with its own challenges and its own consequences. And me, I'm ready for the consequences. In a bit to be an entrepreneur, I've slept on floors for on bare floor for months because I couldn't afford a mattress. And meanwhile, I had money, I had millions in the business account. You cannot. This one is not. Let's be calm. You see all these things. Let's calm down. Let's be realistic a little bit. Let's be realistic. Even as an entrepreneur, right? There were months that I was paying salaries from my own salary, not salary from the business I was doing, from another job I was doing. So I was a CEO that had a job, and I was paying the salary of the business I was CEO with from the salary I was getting from a job. So let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's face reality here. So the question is, why? Who am I? I think there are also a lot of fresh graduates now from fresh NYC graduates. How valuable am I? Such that you pick the company you want to work with. You pick the salary range you want to get. And when you get there and they hear you speak, they know that they need you. They need you. In fact, they're looking for a job because you are broke. That's a sign that you should not be employed. Because I should want to employ you because of the value I know you are bringing to my own company. So the question is, how valuable am I? And then the offer, what I'm offering, is it what people are desperate for? Many people are actually valuable, but what they are offering, the people they are pursuing, they are not desperate for it. So they are struggling. How desperate, right, are people for what I'm offering? So these are questions we need to answer. These are questions we need to answer. How valuable am I? And there's certain, now this is the second thing. Find the sectors that are being favored. Even COVID favored certain sectors. For example, logistics. For example, what's it called? E-commerce. For example, health. So regardless of how tough the economy is, regardless of whatever is going on, there are certain sectors that are still always being favored. That are still always being favored. You want to find a way to get into those sectors. Find a way to get into those sectors. That's the thing. Go after the money. Go after the. This is not the time to be passionate about it. I really want to balance these things, right? But then you have to be passionate about it, but find a way that your passion also is in an hungry market. Let's just balance all these things together. That your passion is also in an hungry market, right? Find a way to present it. So look out for the sectors that are being favored. For example, one of the sectors that are currently being favored in Nigeria right now in this economy, really, if you can get into it, if you can get into it, right? Number one is what's it called? Right now, and I'm going to say it with proof, right? A lot of people are just shouting, okay, they don't let me go into that. Let me just itemize all those platforms, all those sectors that I believe are currently being favored. Number one is health, right? Number one is health. Number two is logistics, right? Logistics. Number three is hospitality. Is hospitality. Number four is luxury goods. You might think Nigerian don't have money, but if you can target people that really have money, luxury goods are making money. Luxury goods. If you know you have the network, or you know how to penetrate into the network. Luxury goods, health, logistics, or let me use the word e-commerce, not logistics, e-commerce. Because why e-commerce is that people are now cutting costs. So, for example, you cook. I don't see the reason why you need to go and open a store when you can easily use your kitchen. And in fact, let me say this: if you can find a way to integrate your own logistics, right? Logistics. I think one other sector you want to look out for is media, because media and many more. See, how do you know a sector that is making money? When you wake up in the morning, what are the first five things you interact with? And you know that if those things does not exist, your day would go somehow. Firstly, social media. Am I correct? If so, then that thing is making money. That's media. How can you help people create content? How can you help people sell their content online? How can you help people, whatever it is, people want to get there, right? That's one. Then, if there's any other thing, for example, food, regardless of anything, people want to eat. Regardless of anything, people want to eat. So these are things you just look at that. What are people desperate for? I think one of the things you also want to look at is affordable housing, quality affordable housing. I didn't say luxury, affordable luxury. I said quality affordable housing, because whether you believe it or not, people are going to be leaving some houses to find cheaper ones. So if you have quality houses that are still affordable, you want to be the one to now start presenting it, right? Number four, business support is one of the stronghold of our economic cities, because right now a lot of businesses need business support. So you want to look out for what people are looking for, what people are desperate for, and find a way to feel. So while other people are complaining about tough economy, you are looking out for, even in this tough economy, what are still people willing to spend money on, and then you provide that services. You provide those services. Don't just relax on what you know. If you don't know, for example, you know that this segment is making money, and you don't have anything to offer in that particular sector, why can't you learn? Why can't you learn? You have spare cash to invest in those economy. My guy, sir and man, rainy day fund. There's something called rainy day fund. That is, yes, you are making money now, but is that all the plans that you have? Can you start investing in something that you know that if anything goes wrong with this primary source of income, I can easily bank on that? In fact, there's a rule that if everybody plays with that rule, I tell you, many people panic will leave many people's finances. And that is, whatever thing that is making you money now, make sure you are putting money somewhere that even if that thing ends abruptly for 6 months, you can still maintain your standard of living and nobody would know. You get what I just said? That you lose your job today, and for the next 6 months, the same standard of living you are living today, you can still continue to live it for the next 6 months. That would be a reflection of whether your savings or whatever you are putting money into while you still have that stable source of income. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. These realities are there. The question is, how do you rise above the tide? It's not by looking for what is making, or it's not by looking for get rich quick scheme. In fact, once you see make money in, I have a challenge coming up for people that have not made a million before. And the challenge is 1 million naira challenge. There's 1 million, there's 10 million naira. 10 million naira for people that has made millions but have not made 10 million naira. 1 million naira for people that have not made a million naira. And the timeline is 90 days. 90. Because see, the thing is not that you cannot make that money in 30 days. But the thing is, after you made it 30 days, can you repeat it? And can you repeat it? Can you repeat it? But by the time you do it for 90 days, even if you did not eat it in 90 days, you would have mastered the principle, so that there was a particular challenge I did some time ago. It was make your first real estate sales in 90 days also. And some people did not make their sales within that 90 days. But guess what? The people that made the most sale out of that period were people that didn't even make sales within that 90 days. Because it was just shocking that, like, maybe 1 month after the 90 days, One of them sold 6 plots outrightly. Another person sold 3 plots of land that is 100 million per plot. That's 300 million naira. So the thing, and even after that, they kept on making sales, they kept on increasing. Why? Because they didn't just learn how to make that money, they learned the underlying principles and strategy that with or without me, they can now keep applying it. Until today, this was 2020, 2021. Till today, those people still refer, they still refer back to all those principles. So the question is, how do you consistently make yourself valuable? Why do you think? See, you can just look at all these people and think they are doing something special. See, the principle is universal. What's Dangote doing? Nigeria needs to refine oil to increase production. Is increasing production in oil. Real estate is a good investment. He owns 6 times the size of the whole of Victoria Island. These guys are using these same principles that you and I know, but on a grand scale. And I think one of the big challenge that people face during the tough economy is that it kills the ability to dream big, because they just start thinking small because they think economy is tough, economy is hard. This is not, things are not going well, things are hard, people don't want to spend, people are concerned. So that just kills the ability to think big. So those of us who are able to think big, you are now part of the 1%, and you're able to now exploit all the opportunities that are meant for everybody else. And this is why poor people despise rich people, because they think they are eating what everybody should eat. You can't blame them. You had the opportunity to also dream big, but you base your judgment on what the media is telling you. The economy is tough. People cannot. So you just want to find a way to just make more money. Meanwhile, we are both facing the same economic realities, but we still chose to dream big. We still chose to think big, and we're able to exploit the opportunities. So, for example, do you know how many, for example, do you know how many oil companies could have been in the same Dangote refinery? But no. So, for example, the only people that would now share in that prosperity would be those people that now invest with him. And this is why when I think about Adesina economic cities, the direction I come from is, you might not be able to think as big or to do this kind of project, but this is your chance to invest in it and own a piece of it. With 5 million naira, you can get 1,000 square meter of the commercial plot, or you get 1 acre of the residential plot. 5 million naira, and you can even spread for 3 to 6 months. What is stopping you? What is stopping you? What is stop? But no, you want to go and buy land in your village because you want to prove to them that you are rich. All the best. So, guys, what are we trying to say? What am I trying to say in essence? Ignore the news. You go after the money, and you make yourself so valuable. You make your business so valuable. You make whatever you are offering so valuable that even if you are earning, I think I did a research recently that there's about, I think, 12 trillion naira in circulation currency. If you divide it by 200 million people, that means an average person has just about probably 9,000 naira in cash. If you can be so valuable, find something you can package that is irresistible, that you will just peg at 5,000 naira. Trust me, you sell 5,000 naira. You know why? It is something that is kind of just reasonable that a lot of people can afford. All you just need to do is make sure you find a way to sell it to a lot of people. It's as simple as that. Just think like this. How do I get these people's money in a way that they want to? They are desperate to. They're desperate to, right? So, guys, this is where we stop this afternoon. We spent. I used to want to end it at just 25 minutes, but this is already 34 minutes. Let me leave you to enjoy the rest of your lunch. See you guys tomorrow, 12 p.m. West African time again. My name is Opayemi Adesina, and this is the $1 Billion Chat with Adesina. Have an amazing day ahead. Bye.